Welcome back. Okay, so I actually put a whole lot together for this episode, but first of all, welcome back. Check me out, Lapper Flips, LAPP3R30_flips on Instagram. You're here at my YouTube page, so hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Lots of people to me are doing it, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback, and that's why I keep doing it. I mean, I enjoy it, but your feedback and you guys giving me the good vibes and all those good things, I enjoy that, and I thank you. But I want to go over some stuff today. Going to take another deeper dive into market movers. So we're about a month into the hockey season now. Hockey's going. There's some problems with some of the teams and all this COVID thing. Where did that come from, right? That hasn't affected anything. But some teams shut down. You got Buffalo and Colorado and New Jersey, and Dallas was shut down, and we'll see what's going on. But we are a month into the hockey season, and just wanted to take a look at some cards that were up and some cards that were down. So I'm going to look at those, and then we're also going to take a look at Alexis Lafreniere and see what's going on there, because it's sort of interesting what I'm watching happen. But we're going to dive into market movers. So first of all, thanks to those guys over there. Again, they're adding new hockey cards, and maybe as long as I remember, I'll quickly show that you can take a look and see the cards that they've added in the last 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, and what have you. That's a new feature added, and it's really cool. So they're adding lots of new hockey cards. I'm sending over a whole bunch of submissions for them to add, and hopefully it'll just work out better for everyone. But let's take a look at what's going on. All right, guys. So here we are. I've put together some players who are down a bit, who are up a bit, and then also we'll take a look at Alexis Lafreniere, because again, like I said, I think it's a little bit interesting. So we'll take a look first at the players who are down here. So we'll take a look at Rasmus Dahlin, an upward trend. If from dating back to November 15th, he's trended slightly upwards. But if we take a look back to puck drop, which was the 13th, I believe. So on the 12th, he was at about $37. Over here, he's at, that's $37, $40. So he's at $37, $40 there today. Going for about $30, $29.87. This might just be an instance where, Buffalo's not playing. Rasmus Dahlin's numbers are, he has 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 10 games. So he's not helping himself in that way. I think this might be also just an instance where if you're going to buy a defenseman like this, I'm not big on defensemen in general. There are a couple of exceptions. I'm sure I'll mention it, but I think the attention's going to Hughes and Makar in this space. And when a guy's putting up 3 points in 10 games, there's not a heck of a lot to be buying there. So that's Rasmus Dahlin. You see his PSA 10 here is moving down. I wouldn't expect the next sale, even though the volume here is relatively low. I wouldn't expect the next purchase to be at this $177. For you Canadians out there, keep in mind these are all USD, so you can do some quick math in your head. I use 1.3. So 177 US, and last sale was at 143. So that's Rasmus Dahlin. We'll take a look next at Carter Hart. So I see lots of Carter Hart in breaks, not breaks, sorry, in Razes. I see people trying to move him. There's always listings. His play, he's certainly not helping himself either. And I remember him doing this the last couple of years too, where he's really hot and cold, and he falls, and he's struggling to get above 900 right now. His save percentage is 897 over that's 9 games played already. So that's pretty rough. Okay, that's a shaky start. That's something to be concerned about. But we've seen him bounce back, so we'll see. Will the card value bounce back with it? I mean, I guess that's to be determined too. I certainly don't know that. You don't know that. We'll see how the market reacts. I'm personally not on goaltenders at all. I don't think that they make for great investments. You know, you take a look at the past and you got your Waz and, you know, Drydens and Plants. I'm sure all those things command money now. We got Marty Brodeur, you know, those things are starting to get graded. But in general, I'm just not into goalies. And Carter Hart, I told a buddy of mine, I said, I don't know if you're going to like where that Hart is in 1 or 2 years. And, you know, this certainly isn't. I told you so. We'll see what happens with Carter Hart. But, you know, card value not doing too well right now. PSA 10, low volume as well, but you see a clear decline. You have a sale of $300 there, and then the last sale of $247. I'm sure the future sales will fall somewhere in the middle, and Carter Hart is going to have to help himself with his play. So that's Carter Hart. Next one, Nick Suzuki. I only put this here for this reason, and I'll talk about it on the upside too. So you see his PSA 10 having a downward trend. I do expect that to continue. And like I said, I'll talk more about it in the up cards, because his raw value, his raw card has been increasing in value. And I think I may know why that is. But we'll talk about that going up. Here's the interesting one though. Braden Point is trending downward. So we take a look back at the start of the season, January the 13th. So the 12th and the 13th, he was at 47.49. We'll call it $50 even USD. And then now he's, you know, trading down at the 32, 36, $35, somewhere in here. And you know, he's got 4 goals and 10 assists. He's got 14 points in 11 games. I don't understand this. I mean, we watched him run up in the playoffs last year, and you know, that's what happens in the playoffs. That's what I hear. Anyways, I haven't been around too long, but apparently, you know, they run up in the playoffs, but I just don't understand this. He was the hottest card around. Everyone was looking for Braden Points and wanted Braden Points and drove the price up over the $60 level raw, and he's sitting down here at 35. Is that an opportunity to buy? I don't know. You can decide. He's got 14 points in 11 games. I mean, pretty interesting. I do have points myself. I'm not buying points, but that's up to you. PSA 10 values staying a little bit flat. I guess they've come down a little bit, but you're still at 255 US dollars. For you Canadians out there, I'll do some quick math. That's 30, 60, 75 plus 250, 325. Call it about $330 or so Canadian for a Braden Point. So that's the guys who are down. We'll take a look at just their raw. Nick Suzuki I won't include in there because he's not down, but you know, this is about what the downward trends are looking like in hockey. Everyone's still doing reasonably well, but these guys definitely stand out a little bit for moving down in value, and they were sort of the hot tickets last year. Okay, so these are some of the guys who are on the way up, guys who are doing really well right now. So take a look at Andrei Svechnikov. We'll go back to the 13th. He was at around, we'll call it $80. A low sale there, but he, you know, someone got a good deal over here. And I have verified all these, so this is a legit sale. So someone picked up a Svechnikov here for $50 flat. Pretty good for them when the next sale was at $70. So they got a really nice discount. This person's doing really well. But we see his price continue to climb. You see him all over the place. He's being sold. He's desirable. People want Svech cards. And, you know, we'll see what happens with that value. He's got 6 goals in 10 games, 10 points in 10 games. So he's helping himself. We'll take a look at his PSA 10 value, actually come down a bit and pulled back. So we have $119 base, and then a $345 PSA 10. So what is that? 120. So that's only about 3x. Typically PSA 10s go for above 3x, closer to the 4x range. So if this price keeps on climbing here, the raw price, you'll definitely see an increase in the PSA 10 here. But Andrei Svechnikov doing it. There is no raw for Austin Matthews, but Austin Matthews, Of course, he's helping himself. He always does. Great hockey player. He's got 16 points in 13 games. He has 11 goals in 13 games. You score goals, and this is what your hockey card looks like. So Austin Matthews doing really well, seeing a nice uptick here. Again, we'll take a look at the 13th. That's the 11th. So he's at about $750 here for a PSA 10, and the last sale recorded here was $1,237 for a PSA 10. So you've seen a nice little increase there. Here's a lot of buying opportunity, right? From when it starts back in November through to I mean, pretty much through all of into January. But that's Austin Matthews. We'll take a look at Cale Makar. Cale Makar raw value started off the season somewhere in the $70. We have a $95 sale there. We got $93. Anyways, he's up at around 117 to 134. I expect to see Cale Makar continue to rise. So he has 12 points in 11 games as a D-man. Cale Makar, you all know I'm an Avs fan. It's no secret. But Cale Makar's one of the few defensemen who will hold for the short term. I'm going to be watching this if there's an opportunity, to get out. If I see that the market's starting to shift, then I will sell Makar. I'm not biased in that way where I'm going to hold him just because. I have a Future Watch auto that'll likely hold forever, and that will be my Cale Makar hold. But the Young Guns I have absolutely no attachment to. And we'll see. But he's doing well. Super dynamic player, having a great year. God, the guy's edge work is disgusting. If you're in a hockey and, your kids work on that edge work, he's incredible. And watch him. You'll learn a lot. There's some good highlight videos out there, but I'm just pumping the Avs again. So we got PSA 10 over here, $500. So we got $500 from 118 to 134. So there you go. He's trading closer to the 4 times. And within market movers, there are ratios here, so we can take a look. So we'll take a look at the 7-day average. So he's at about 4.2 times from base to PSA 10 value. That's an average of 4.28. So this is something that I was keeping track of manually, but now it's all done for me and it's beautiful. And if you get market movers, you too can have those ratios and watch what's going on with the players. So that's Cale Makar. I've pumped his tires enough. Jack Hughes. So Jack Hughes saw a really nice incline back to the season here. $51, we'll call it 58, $55 when the season started, and he's sitting at around 91. Now, this I'm fairly certain only looks like this because they're not playing. He did have a hot start, and he sort of slowed down a little bit. He's got 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points in 9 games. But I expect if they start playing and he gets off, you're just going to see this continue to rise because that's relatively inexpensive for a player like Quinn Hughes. I was looking at some stats before too. Quinn Hughes last year was shooting at under 5%. Okay, that is insane. His shots on goal, I think he was around the 150 mark from 60-something games. So he's not creating a lot of shots, but he's a two-way player. His takeaways are incredible. He's really good. He's Ryan O'Reilly-like at stealing the puck. But this year he's up shooting at 10%. And relatively small sample, obviously, only 9 games played because they're locked down. But if he should be a 10% shooter, and he will be, and that's just going to lead to more goals. He only had 7 goals last year, but that's Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes. I hope I didn't say Quinn Hughes that whole time. PSA 10, a little bit all over the place. $91 to $450, so that's over a. We'll take a look at his ratio really quickly. Oh, there's his ratio. So he's almost at 5, trading at 5. So, I mean, either there's a couple ways to look at this. You can look at the PSA 10 value should be coming down, or the card value should be going up. Again, just things that I track and watch. So that's Quinn Hughes. Now, Here, I'll skip, or that's Jack Hughes. We'll go to Mitch Marner really quick. They only have a PSA 10 of Mitch Marner, but he's helping himself as well. Mitch Marner has 21 points in 14 games, so that's a hell of a start. 6 goals, 15 assists. I mean, this North division is just like the Smythe division of the 80s. Like they're scoring at such an incredible pace. It's slowed a little bit, but I think that's, I mean, these are Canadian teams. You know, Canadians are the majority of the collectors. These guys are getting the attention. So it's not really surprising to see these guys, especially the Maple Leafs. And we'll talk about Suzuki, the Canadian, sort of going up in price. But, you know, a nice little increase there, going back to when the puck dropped. So he was at $362 and the last trade was at $587. We'll see where the next, there was an $800 card sold here. So we'll see where the next sale is. I expect it to be somewhere in the middle. Certainly don't think he's going down anytime soon. So this $587 sale here might be the best, might be the best bargain for a while on Mitch Marner. Take a look at Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes raw was around $47 to $50 at puck drop, and he is at about $88 now. He has 17 points in 16 games, 1 goal, 16 assists. That's what he does, is just get assists. He's a D-man, right? I thought Hughes was supposed to be scoring. He's getting assists. So is Makar. Makar has more goals, but these guys are assist machines. But you're seeing a nice uptick there, and then his PSA 10 has continued. We'll take a quick look at the ratio. So he's really high too. He's at about 5 times from raw to PSA 10. So we'll see what happens with him. I would expect that Hughes continues to go up. With all these cards, all these guys, we've seen quite, you know, a bit of flattening since there was a lot more going on when the season just started, but these prices are settling a bit. These guys are a little bit of somewhat of outliers in terms of still increasing in value or decreasing in value. They're traded at a higher rate because they're just more desirable players, right? But yeah, we'll be watching Quinn Hughes for sure. Got him. He's another one of the exceptions. Makar and Hughes would be about the only 2 D-men who I would be looking at. You know, Miro doesn't have a big sample. I was going to put him in, but he's been a little bit flat with his card. So we'll watch Miro, but he doesn't make the list. So the next one we'll take a look at, and I find Nick Suzuki really interesting. So clearly, you know, you have a big Montreal bias with Montreal players, and that's okay. I get it. I mean, Montreal loves their hockey. That's fine. So we're seeing his price go way up. But here's what I think was happening. Nick Suzuki PSA 10s were selling for an absurd amount of money and at an absurdly high ratio. So you have up here $650 for, you know, what was $100 card. You know, 119, 120. What are we at there? So 125 to 600. So it's trading at about, you know, 5+, which isn't actually too high. We saw the same thing in others. But I think with Suzuki, everyone was trying to get Nick Suzuki's raw that they could send in for grading and get a PSA 10, because you're turning your $130 into what was, you know, over $1,000 Canadian. It was, call it 160 Canadian, and PSA 10s were selling for over $1,000. So I think that was driving a lot of this Nick Suzuki chase too. I could be wrong about that. I mean, he's playing well. It's not like he's not helping himself and this is all fabricated. He's got 12 points in 13 games. But I really think that this PSA 10 value will continue to come down and get to a proper ratio, and Nick Suzuki will likely level out, just because the demand is going to decrease once his PSA 10 value is where it should be in terms of the ratio from raw to PSA 10. Once that gets in line, I just think it makes the card less desirable. I always talk about Adam Fox. So Adam Fox, you know, you have a $15 card there and $150 PSA 10. That's 10 to 1. That's what makes Adam Fox desirable. Adam Fox is a great player, but he's great to grade because you're getting 10x on it. Inexpensive card, but this was sort of a bigger play on that, Suzuki being a more expensive option. And I think that's what was happening there. I don't know, but again, we'll watch Suzuki. All these guys are off to, a good start in terms of cards, and we'll watch the values. All right, everyone wants to know. Try that again. Okay, everyone wants to talk about Alexis. So let's take a look at Alexis here. So we have his raw card, which is plummeting. Do I have Alexis Lafreniere's stats here? I do. So he has his 1 goal in 12 games, playing down the lineup. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think that this price was ever sustainable, but this isn't like, oh, I was right. Like, we'll see what kind of player he turns out to be. But from the best that I can understand, this happens with a hot new guy. The first overall draft pick is he rockets up and then he settles in, and we'll see where he settles in. But right now he's moving on down. We'll take a look at the PSA 10. Low volume, low pop count on the Lafrenieres. I had a look at PSA, so he has 43. The pop is 43 for PSA 10. So pretty low volume, but I think you're going to continue to see that number move down as it sits right now, trading at 6.5 times. So that makes it really desirable. Just the same thing I talked about with Suzuki, to buy raw Lafrenieres and have them graded and then sell them at a ridiculous price. The opportunity's there. It's still there. But it's gonna disappear. It's not gonna be there forever. But Lafreniere, not looking too good right there. I think people are losing a little bit of confidence. Again, I think that's insane. He's a kid playing in the NHL. The guy needs time. But if you wanted a Lafreniere, I'm sure there's going to be opportunity down the road where you can pick one up. It's just not so hot. Maybe people are onto Series 2 already, thinking of Stützle and these other guys who are coming up. But Lafreniere moving on down, and we'll see where that goes. His canvas, on the other hand, I'll pop the canvas up with the raw card. So the canvas has moved on down as well. I actually just bought a few of these. And, I honestly expect this to keep moving down more in line with the raw card. So I believe that this trend will move down, even though it shows a line slightly trending upward. We'll take a look at his PSA 10, and here's the opportunity again. You have a $250 card going for over $1,000. So that's if we take a look at the ratio, 4.73, that's from 222. So it's using a different number, but regardless, up here is where the opportunity is, or was, when it was selling at $13.75. Get the card, grade it. The flip's there. I'm gonna give her a whirl. No secret. We'll see. I'm likely gonna make out well anyways, and people will, but that opportunity is not going to exist forever. And then I put these here. So we have the clear cut, which, obviously these are going to be low volume. We have the exclusive, there it is. So one sale, $3,300 for the exclusive, just in case you guys wanted to know. And then there is your high gloss. Out of 10, January 6th, 11,000 US dollars. Not sure if that was the individual who bought. I think he had 5 of them when I was watching online when Series 1 came out. He was trying to scoop them all up in one of the Facebook groups that I was in. But anyways, that's at 11,000. I'm sure the next sale will be below 11,000. But we'll see. So that's Alexis Lafreniere. The kid needs time. He's going to be a great hockey player. Is he going to be the next Sitter McDavid? Well, I never thought he would be, but that's just me. People people like to make the comparison. Maybe it was just the media, you know, wanting, you know, you got to give people something to look forward to. And maybe that's what that was. Regardless, he's going to be a good hockey player. He is a good hockey player. There's no doubt about it. His production will come. He's a kid. Cut him some slack, guys. Anyways, that's all I got for today. So hopefully you enjoyed this Market Movers stuff. You know, give me a like, a follow, give me a comment. Who you watching? Do you want to see other people in the videos? Like, you want me to highlight you guys on your team? Let me know who you want to see, and I'll do the best that I can to sort of give you a little bit of information, some data on what's going on. Thanks to Market Movers for allowing me to do this. Like, subscribe, LAPP3R30_flips on Instagram. And thanks for watching. You guys stay safe.